Hi, Guy. Good morning to you. So, this morning I'm gonna talk about important story that you may believe not the same as what I believe because my source is the belief of Jesus and his followers. They call themselves mu'min. The word is in the gospel, mu'min. And this Jesus and Jesus followers call the other party the Christian. So actually the Christian founder was a guy named Paul. So it has nothing to do with the religion of this Jesus. They don't mix well. So the Christian and the mu'min had not mixed well. They are not friendly to each other because one thing, the Christian had not been circumcised and the mu'min practiced circumcision, and the mu'min hadn't liked to mix with people who had not been circumcised. So that is one. And Paul had not met Jesus. So that is indication why the Christian and the mu'min had not mixed. It's like different party, different belief that they don't like to mix because different ideology altogether. So it's just like the supporter of Manchester United will not mix with the supporter of Liverpool, things like that. So Paul had not seen Jesus, but Paul had seen only the follower of Jesus. When come to meeting Jesus, he would avoid at all costs because he knows that Jesus had miracles and Jesus would look at his heart and then can reveal what is the intention of Paul, which was a false prophet to hijack the teaching of Jesus. He wants to be like Jesus, but was not given the miracles. Or that is the difference between false prophet and the true prophets. So the false prophets actually are the most dangerous people that live on earth. You believe it or not, I do. Okay, guy. So what I'm going to tell you is the story behind the crucifixion. So the story behind the crucifixion, what the follower of Jesus and Jesus believe, and what the others believe. The others could mean the Roman, the Christian, or maybe the ordinary people at that time, the masses. So what happened was a person was arrested that was supposed to be Jesus. So who is this person? Well, it's too early to tell you. Later I will tell you. So that person was one of the 12 disciples who was a traitor. His name Judas Iscariot. So when there was an order to arrest Jesus by the general of an army, Pontius, I think is his name. This Pontius actually, he had sympathy with Jesus. He don't believe that Jesus was a rebel against the Roman rule. But then the masses was instigated by the Jew priest, the rabbi, who hated Jesus as much as Paul hated Jesus. Maybe, I don't know, maybe the same or more or less. So this rabbi instigated the people. This rabbi makes story that Jesus wanted to be a king, the king of the Jews. So it's a threat to the Roman rule. So Pontius at the end have to give way to order Jesus' arrest. So the army, the soldiers, Roman soldiers, went to Jesus' place, and this traitor Judas was expected to lead them because he knew where Jesus was. So Judas led the Roman soldiers to find and arrest Jesus. So what happened? The miracle had occurred that the appearance of Judas Iscariot was changed to look and appear like Jesus, and that make the way for Jesus to escape from the chamber, helped by the angel, of course. Then they arrested Judas Iscariot. Of course, Judas Iscariot denied that he was Jesus, but his appearance is so like Jesus that he couldn't make people to believe that he was not Jesus. So he was arrested, put on the cross, and then tortured on the cross, and then die of the torture. Then that night, his body was still on the cross. And then that night as well, the disciples and Jesus' followers, there was his mother as well as the witness, his wife. They in the cover of the night, they brought the body down and bury the body of Judas in a secret place, maybe around that area. But they bury and then kept the surface as original, so that nobody is notice or move earth. Of course, the next day, when the Roman soldiers look at the empty cross, and they suspected must be the work of Jesus' follower, the disciples. So the Roman soldiers interrogated the disciples, and of course, they would not reveal the truth. They would not say they brought the body down because it's a criminal act, not authorized to touch the body without authorization. And they just said, yes, they met Jesus. They met Jesus, then Jesus ascended to heaven. Of course, the Roman believe the miracles of Jesus, that they believe the miracle of Jesus. Maybe no problem for them to believe this, that Jesus, but they believe that Jesus had lived again after death, meaning resurrected, and then went to heaven. And they believe this story, so no problem. Of course, the disciple would not tell everything, but they only told the Roman that Jesus ascended to heaven, had met them and ascended to heaven. They had not mentioned that Jesus had not died. They just keep quiet on it. So guy, in actual, Jesus had not died. Jesus even told the disciples and his followers, and his mother was also there, his wife, that he had escaped death. And that very night, after meeting them for a short while, he ascended to heaven, witnessed by the 11 disciples, Mary Magdalene, his wife, his mother Mary, and Lazarus, and Martha. Martha is that little girl, maybe 7 or 8 years old at that time. And these are the people who are the live witness of Jesus ascending to heaven in a full earthly body, not a resurrected body. So, what can you make of the story? It's up to you to believe me or not, but my story is acceptable to the mind. First miracle of Jesus. Of course, Jesus' prayer would be answered by God. He could pray to God to save him from being killed by his enemy. It was answered. So it is easy to believe then a resurrected body. So what can you make of the story? First of all, Paul had lied. Of course, he didn't mean to lie. Then, who is the liar? If I look at the verses in the Quran, on page 3 of the Quran, God had said they mock God, then God mocked them back. So maybe that verses tells everything that God can mock people back. So thank you very much for listening. Salam.